What if I told you that the Bible used by the apostles is not the same Old Testament found in most modern Bibles today? And what if the version they used might actually be more accurate? Today, we're diving into the Septuagint, also known as the LXX, and why many believe it preserves a more reliable version of the Old Testament than the later Hebrew texts. First of all, what is the Septuagint? The Septuagint is a Greek translation of the Old Testament, created between 300 and 100 BC in Alexandria, Egypt. It was translated from much older Hebrew manuscripts that existed long before the standardized Hebrew text we use today. At the time of Jesus and the apostles, Greek was the common language of the known world, so the Septuagint became the most widely used version of Scripture. In fact, most Old Testament quotes found in the New Testament match the Septuagint, not the later Hebrew versions. So, what is the Masoretic text and what does it have to do with the Old Testament as we know it? Fast forward several centuries, between 600 and 1000 AD, Jewish scholars known as the Masoretes standardized the Hebrew Bible into what we now call the Masoretic text. This version became the foundation for most modern Protestant Bibles. But here's the key issue. The Masoretic text was finalized over 1,000 years after the Septuagint was already in use. So the question becomes, which one is closer to the original? Key differences between the Septuagint LXX and the Masoretic texts. The first one is the age of source material. The Septuagint is based on much older Hebrew manuscripts, closer in time to the original writings. The Masoretic text comes from a much later period, meaning more time for changes, edits, or variations to develop. The second one is the New Testament alignment. When the New Testament quotes the Old Testament, it overwhelmingly matches the Septuagint wording. This strongly suggests that Jesus and the apostles themselves relied on the Septuagint. The third one is the prophetic differences. Some passages in the Septuagint are clearer or more explicit, especially regarding prophecy. For example, certain verses interpreted as messianic are more direct in the Septuagint than in the Masoretic text. This has led many to believe that later Hebrew versions may have softened or altered some readings. The fourth one is missing or altered passages. There are places where the Masoretic text is shorter or differs significantly from the Septuagint. Meanwhile, the Septuagint often aligns more closely with other ancient sources, like the Dead Sea Scrolls, confirming its antiquity. The fifth one is the existence of additional books. The Septuagint includes several books not found in most modern Protestant Bibles. These books were widely read and accepted in early Christianity and are still included in many Christian traditions today. Why is it that many consider the Septuagint to be more accurate? Because it is based on older source material, used during the time of Jesus and the apostles, quoted directly in the New Testament, supported in parts by the Dead Sea Scrolls, and less likely to reflect later editorial changes. In simple terms, it may preserve a version of Scripture that is closer to what was originally written and understood. This doesn't mean modern Bibles are wrong, but it does mean there's a deeper history behind the text than most people realize. Understanding the Septuagint opens a window into how Scripture was read, understood, and passed down in the earliest days of faith.